info, and I am going to have to get things squared away in a new kind of a way. How did I used to? All right, I'm just okay. So first we're gonna start things up. Oh shit! I have to open my YouTube channel and find where things are happening. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Afternoons we write, and it says morning writing. How classy is that? All right. So I gotta edit the video. I used to have a whole workflow. In which everything is off to a rough start. Ha! All right. What is that feeling there? I don't like that. All right. Has nothing to do with you. Has everything to do with food. Probably. Um, so actually, I could go into screen share mode just so you can see everything that I'm going to be editing here. All right, so let's figure out how we're going to edit all the things. Wait. So now that okay, so that'll give me the chat because YouTube does a thing with the chat, or it did the last time I did live streams. Do you realize it's been over a year since I last live streamed? I found that out by going into the clips and whatnot recently. It's been a weird year, folks. All right, what was I going to do? I was going to start changing these. The morning writing editions. That is the Sally Forth one. I'm going to open that one too. Because I really like that gray. And I think for the project that I'm going to be focusing on this season, I think that'll be good. All right. I might journal that I'm going live because why the hell not? All right. That doesn't need to be open. Easy time to avoid spoilers. Maybe I just might use this one and change the fonts. This one I have more. Oh, that needs so much changing this. Okay, you know what? We're going to. Okay, morning writing for Sally Forth. I'm gonna call it. Oof. All right. All right. I don't need to see that right now, Keynote. All right. So I'm gonna fill up the screen with this while I edit it because we need to do that. All right. So times are gonna change. Maybe I should have done this. All right, because I was. All right, it'll be fine. It'll be fine because we can always. Yeah. All right. All right. I am wide awake. That's what's happening here. I like that better. So that's. Why am I looking at it at this percentage? Rose, wake all the way up. How about that? Oh, afternoons. Is it because of how long? Because of. It's fine. Everything is awesome. My stomach will survive, as it always has, through sheer force of will. Actually, I can get rid of that. Means I can make that a little bigger. What size was that? 17? So 51, 17. Yeah. Oh, good. It's already an avenue. That's what I like. Oh, the adjustment I made to my exercise routine. So it's thrown off how everything feels. Great. this up so I can't see the chat when I'm doing the writing, aka, or the prep for the writing. That's going to happen from now on. But as for how I've been, it's been a rough year. All right. I came on here for a specific purpose. Paul Kemp is on YouTube. It's good to see you again as well. Again, going to just pull new windows so that I'm not distracted. All right. So, current project stuff. Cam shared his current project. I'm here to work on my current project. And I want to do You can't see what I'm doing. I'm on Redbubble, trying to find a thing that I made, which I can do. Go to your profile, Rose, because it's really available. Oh, I gotta update that. Didn't I used to have? I did. Alright. Only one thing over here. to this. Crap. Okay, then. Fine. Okay. I'll go smaller. Nope. Not that good. Alright. Alright. Which means I am now squared away. Ooh. Okay. So actually, what I want to do, here's the thing. Because I don't want to necessarily share my face the whole time. Okay, so I can do that. What? How much space do I want to put in? Window capture. Whoa, look how much space that took up so fast. Which is good because I can find then a space between how much of me to share and how much of it to share. All right. Which is important because I'm going to work on Star Trek things now, and that means I can't screen share with you because Star Trek is not my copyright material. My sonnets that I write inspired by it are my copyright material. But yeah, anywho, I'll talk more about things when I have when we get to the talking portion. An alarm here that's going to go off. All right. Actually, oh, here's an idea. I just fill the screen with timers. How about that? What if I did that? Huh? That would make me happy. No! Oh, for God's sake. Why did I do that? Okay. File. New howler. fine. All right. Actually, yeah. All right. So that's fine for now. Oh no, Rosie. All right then. Alright, so that is paused and muted. That is paused and muted. Alright, so this does not need to remain open, nor does this. This does. This might. No, it's probably better to keep them in separate windows like this. Alright, so then that means I'm looking at freaking Netflix is Here we go. Star Trek the animated series. This fucking thing. Alright. So that's where that's going. And I think, oh, you know what? I could use that for, okay. Netflix in one window, dashboard in the other. How did I used to just come up with clever titles on the spot? Was that how I did it? I know how writing the sonnets worked. Writing the blog posts is an entirely different matter. Where did they come up with? Did I write them somewhere separately? I don't remember writing them somewhere separately first. I might have to. Getting back into the groove of things. But, because I started a few episodes already. Verse, no verse. All right. Less talking, more writing, Rose. Okay. No, I wanted to look up just this side so I could. No! Is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Linking to that in this post because. Oh, yeah. Get 'em. Hyphen and After Effects. Alright, so. Now I have to watch. You might hear construction next door. You might not because my voice is only being picked up by the mic in the headphones. possible you might not. All right. Let's see. Fucking intro, man. I'm not giggling, you're giggling. We're all giggling. Wait a minute. Oh my God, how did I miss that before? How? Okay. Once upon a time, I was going to blog my way through all the series other than original series simultaneously. When I first had the idea to start PenroseTrekkie.com as the next iteration of the Penrose Trekkie project, I was going to watch all of them simultaneously, and I missed a series. It says a series of Federation ships have disappeared over a period of 150 years in this star system. And then they talk to Romulans and Klingons, and they say that it's precise that, like, correlating all this information that a ship has disappeared precisely every 27 years. But when you divide 27 into 150, that's only like 5 or 6 ships in total. They wouldn't have noticed this pattern that's not enough ships for them to have noticed this pattern and be like, oh, we need to investigate this shit. They would have noticed. They wouldn't have noticed. They wouldn't have contacted fucking anybody. This is, oh my God. How did they not catch this in their numbers? No, I wasn't talking to you, iPad. Just how did they not notice this? How did they not notice this? Fuck. Like, dude, how did I not notice this? How did no one notice that these numbers are fucking ridiculous? There's no reason for them to be in the star system right now. Do I rewrite the old blog post that I am updating in order to give this episode a poem? Do I update the blog post
to reflect this new information. Like that's three species in space. Romulans, Klingons, well, the Federation is a collection of species, presumably. For them to have all noticed that they missed multiple ships from this star system, that's two each. That's not a series. That's a couple. Oh my God. You're in outer space. This is science fiction. You can at least get the fucking math right. If you're not going to get the science right, the least you can do is get the math right. Oh my God. That's not nobody would have fucking noticed two ships over a period of 150 years. Like they're making it out to be like the Bermuda Triangle, but the numbers just don't back it the fuck up. Oh my God. No, I am. Well, I have to rewrite the conclusion anyway because reasons. What the fuck? No. 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 I have to put it in now. I have to put it in. I can't. No, I can't let that abide. I can't. I understand that science fiction as a genre is really more, would be better named as science fantasy, but come the fuck on. You can't fake numbers. It does not work. You only look stupid. And the only cartoon allowed to look stupid and still manage to solve mysteries is Scooby Doo. That is the only one. They're the only ones allowed to get away with this kind of shit. I would only allow them. And that's because everything else about that show is completely impossible too. Like, Jesus Christ. Ah! La 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 la. If you like it when I rant at the computer without paying any attention to what's going on in the chat at all, please feel free to check out the clips where like something about the rage comes out, I believe is called, is the number one clip in which I get very irate at having spilled cocoa on myself. I'm just sitting there swearing. Holy Christmas. Holy Christmas. This is a banger first episode. This is a banger first episode. Spent all that time. I spent a good half hour just getting the background of the whole live stream up to date for my current project. And now I'm razzing on fucking Star Trek the animated series for some shit math. Nobody worked these numbers. No, 150 sounds like an impressive number. 27 sounds impressive. It's not. It accounts to five ships. Five ships over five or six ships, probably six, in order to account for the fact that they talk to Klingons and Romulans, as I said before, so that's two ships per government, and yet it's a series. You have not noticed a series of your ships missing, Federation. You have not. Starfleet. Starfleet. Oh my God, you're more OCD than me if you think two ships disappearing in this one spot that you've only visited twice over a period of 150 years is a fucking issue. Oh my God. Ugh! It's a couple. That's literally, oh my God, now I'm spitting. I'm so, oh my God. It's a couple. It's not a series. It's not a series. You need at least three to be a series. This is a duology at most. Come on. That's as fancy as your terms are allowed to be for this. Actually put it into the blog post, Rose. Actually fucking write it into the fucking blog post. How's about? Oh God. Oh shit, I have to update stuff about the site. Write the sonnet, then update stuff about the site. At least go back and forth between the administrative and the creative. Come on, Rose. Come on. Okay. This next one needs to be this one. Needs to be a thing. No, that's not what I'm clicking. I am clicking like that. Sheesh, McGeesh. Oh, that's not what I meant. Oh, for freckle frat's sake. Y'all are just working my final nerve is what's going on. Here we go. No! It's not what I typed either! No. Figure it out. Figure it the F out. Oh, finally. Okay. Now I have to actually watch the rest of this freaking episode in order to write this sonnet. Fine. Um, crap. Do I wanna? I might have to. Yeah, I might have to. Or not. The hell? What? No. Okay. This is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Superstar. Wake up. Wake up. Oh, okay. I can do it that way. Perfect. No. Down. Move down. How do I? Oh, right in there. Perfect. Oh, I like it. All right. I'm not totally against the way this works. Maybe it's a headphones thing. Maybe I'm just more likely to talk to myself because I'm wearing headphones. Or the fact that the noise is so. It's fine. I don't think I need to do the other thing. What? No. Stop having that song stuck in your head. Have literally any other song stuck in your head. What happened to the My Cat Died song? What happened to that being the default song that gets stuck in your head? That was a great fucking song. It was catchy. It was ridiculous. It was upbeat. What happened to that? You don't even know Jesus Christ Superstar. You know those two words from that one song and that one other song. But that's You don't know. Stop singing that song. We have Star Trek sonnets to write. The hell is with today? How do you change the block type? Haha! Good, and I didn't lose any of my formatting because I did the other thing first. Winning! At being wide awake. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add a block to take notes for the sonnet. We're gonna pay attention to the women because they're the only ones not being stupid, even though everybody missed the math on this shit. We're gonna write this goddamn sonnet. Get it done. 27 star years. Fuck you. 20 seconds to what? That's what worries me. Fuck you. Oh my god, the sexism. Oh god, that's awful. Does resemble a summons? I resemble no summons, Captain. Opinion noted. Jesus fucking Christ. Who is on top of shit? On top of shit. Summons and blossoms. Okay. Ooh, Spock doing shoddy work. Let me get a second read on that. Oh no, the sensor readings are off. Or no, his work. Oh, a single tear for the man whose life she's about to drain.
Snazzy headgear.
Oh, Scotty. Got their sleeves swapped. You didn't think to use that shit earlier? Oh my god, the fountain of youth, you asshats. Oh my God, just fucking scroll. What the fuck is going on? Just charged this. It's working. What the hell is your problem? Come on. Mm. Here we go. That's. Oh, maybe I should have my snack early. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe that is what I should do rather than fly into a fucking rage. Maybe that's what I should do. It's fine. It's fine. Fucking fine. 10 syllables. You need 8. Do I want to screen share my blog post writing? I mean, the episode's done. I'm not watching it.
Well, this is probably not fun, cracking my neck right next to the microphone. Well, shit. I don't want to be turning off my headphones on and off and find out it doesn't pick up the way I need it to. Then maybe I should test that. Let's do a test, Rose. Let's just test that right now. We're gonna test a thing. What happened? Oh, okay. I see what happened. Great. I want to make this. No, why not? Just for a minute. Nothing sensitive is in view. What was I gonna look up? Shit pot mother frickle frats. Oh, I was gonna test the headphones. So. Okay. And now. Mic auxiliary. Oh wait, no, desktop audio I want low because I should put that about 36. Right. Auxiliary means the mic for the computer. Earphones are not connected, and now oh good, okay. Alright, so it's just, I only have to sync them once at the start of things. Then I can go back to doing things however the hex I want. Now I have to write a sonnet.
Hmm. I used to be so good at this. I used to be able to get a sonnet written in under 30 minutes. God, the muscle memory for sonneteering was intense. I can get it back. I can get it back. I can and will get it back. I will finish watching. I will watch all of the animated series and write a sonnet for every single goddamn forsaken episode. Uh-huh. All right. All right. Let's look up. Because research always helps. Mm-mm. but that does kind of nothing. Okay. I'm cool with that. All right. Nope, actually what I want... No? No, I'll keep it on 40. I mean, he's kind of the son of Apollo. He's totally devoted to Aphrodite. There's got to be some connection between Theseus and the Sirens. There's got to be something. Must include Theseus. Inception analysis, mythology, Ariadne, Theseus, Sirens. Okay. Okay. So that is that, which means oh wait, I forgot to do the thing. Quick edit. I need to add. There we go. Oh crap. Do I have... Oh, good. So I can kind of leave that alone. For now. Where did I put them? Why am I looking around? I know where they are. Sort of. Do I? Fuck. That's not something I'm gonna screen share looking for either because of where I think it is. How do I want to handle this? When is this supposed to go out? October 6th. Okay. Okay. So I'm set for the month of September. I gotta figure out the fuck I'm doing about tribbles. Fucking tribbles. I don't think I could get away with drawing my own cartoon versions of tribbles because cartoon tribbles exist and therefore it would be, what? Does the word tribble exist in the English language outside of Star Trek? No, it doesn't. It doesn't, which means, oh, what would I do with it? Fucking nursery rhymes. Fucking nursery rhymes. Why did I write nursery rhymes? Because of my niece. That's why. I mean, I love that kid. Damn it. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh my. of shapeness. Out of shape physically, literarily. Ugh. Alright then. Alright, so I could do... I was going to do an administrative thing. I'm going to switch to not screen sharing and do administrative things that I can't screen share because logic. Alright. Alright. I can close that window. I can close Netflix for now. Alright. Administrative stuff. Let's do a little math. Where's my spreadsheet? Here it is. God, that's pretty. Okay, so today I worked on Lorelei signal. Today is the 16th? Yes, I guessed correctly. Alright. Alright, so this should give me a readout. How do I do 4 weeks later? Crap. I mean, okay, so if I do 75 months, nope, 75 episodes, 5 days a week, that comes out to 15 weeks. But that's 7 days in a week. brings up to 105 days after. That would bring you, I would actually need, instead of 15 weeks, to do 14 weeks times 7, which is 98 days. So I'm adding 99 days. No, I'm adding, because I have, actually, no, go back to 17 times 7, it's 105. That brings you to the end of the week, end of the final week, which is a Sunday. Subtract 2 to get you onto the Friday. That puts you at 103. I would not be done before Christmas. And I would not be able to live stream while away for family. Bah! Administrative decisions. How many episodes to an Afternoons We Write season? 50? 50 would be 10 weeks. That's 70 days. 70 days minus 2 goes to 68. November 23rd. 2 months. 2 months, 1 week. Which then there's that little dip between projects where I can focus on administrative setup, maybe the planning of a thing, or just off-season writing. So it's a combination of off-season writing, is that how I'd want to do it? Off-season writing, or using that wiggle room so 2 months and 1 week means that I effectively can have off, because I'm going into a third month, I'm only doing 1 week of that third month, which means there's 3 weeks left to the month, which could translate to 1 week off each month, which would be good for running around doing family stuff. I'm getting sick. No, getting sick. I'd still sit here. I would just be complaining a lot. 50 seems right. Plus, with everything, no, that really only applies to Penrose Trekkie. That wouldn't apply to other projects. But basically, a week, a month, wiggle room to do family stuff. Like, oh, we come out to breathe. It would certainly be nice. Ooh. That's good in terms of administrative stuff I can't screen share. Has nothing to do with the dates that I was just talking about. Just knowing that I don't have to screen share everything because of copyright stuff, and I have that set up now. Now I can do in between writing sonnets, which is good. It's good. It's good to be able to have designated time to work on administrative things. But now that it's 4:22, I'm wondering if I should jump into the chat. Just skip just skip right to the wrap-up chat. Don't know. Just a quick click over to see what we've got going on in the chat to see. What's going on to see if it would be a good idea to respond to things. Well, I'm gonna have to change. I need to edit the panels on whatchamacallit. I have to edit the panels on my channel. Administrative stuff. What was I thinking about before? Okay, that's what I was, okay. So a lot of this is copy paste. Maybe I can get it done in 6 minutes. Wouldn't that be a fucking hoot? All right, go into pages. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Evernote changed its little thingamajig. Whatchamacallit? Avatar. No. Yes? Fuck it. Doesn't matter what it is. All right, I am looking for you. Bring this over here. You know what, I can probably just copy paste this over here. I'm sorry, did you link it or not? link. Oh, ha 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 ha. Set to open a new tab. There we go. Copy. Yeah, no job cap. And publish. There we go. Looks good. Oh, oh, let's view it. Is it pretty? It does the job. The whole site isn't all that pretty, but it does the job. Everything looks less pretty when I'm looking at it because I can see all that administrative hubbub. All right, next on the list. I hear you. There we go. All right, so that's the writing time, which means now we are in the wrap-up chat time, and I'm just updating an administrative thing that previously did not exist. And no, stop it! Unlink, you little shit. Okay. PenroseTrekkie.com. Open new tab, apply, copy. Working with the teacher, professor, instructor, person in an actual school setting. Read, stay in school. Cannot guarantee the outcome of following the recommendations provided. All my statements about the potential outcome are expressions of opinion only. Make no guarantees about the information and recommendations provided here. Going to visit the PenroseTrekkie.com and use the things provided. You acknowledge that I cannot guarantee any particular results, as such outcomes are based on subjective factors that are not within my control. Therefore, following any information or recommendations provided on the PenroseTrekkie.com are at your own risk. If you need college credits, you should take and pass an actual college course. Nothing we do can guarantee you college credits or any kind of official certification. Read, stay in school. Disclaimer. Ooh, do I have the thing here for... I do. I just need to... That was a real thing that I wrote. That was a real thing that I wrote and that I did, and it needs to be updated. To be updated. All right, I can continue doing that at a later time. For now, I'm actually going to go into the chats. It's chat time. I haven't done this in ages. I'll keep the timer going, and I'll just continue using this screen. Nah, no, I'll go back to this. All right, afternoons we write. It was a successful day, I think. So the wrap-up chat means share what you did and then interact. So what did I do? Well, first I got this whole situation squared away. I knew that I wanted to come back to writing live. I knew I wanted to come back to doing the live stream writing, and rather than wait until I had everything perfect, I just jumped in. And I used the writing time as an opportunity to continue working on getting things squared away, visually, technologically, whatnot. And I have to figure out a better lighting scenario. That didn't help. Not sure how I feel about the building across the street. I'm really not. As I was saying, I have to get back into the habit of doing spiels. I have to get back into the habit of listening to that. When that happens outside, I have to generally get just back into the swing of things all around. But we got a good start because we got the banners, the background images and whatnot all set up for screen sharing and making sure that I'm sharing timers with you based on what it is I'm doing. And I can use the words goodly. I'm wide awake. Things are going to be rough in the first few days of this whole afternoon writing thing, partly as I'm getting back into the swing of writing every day, and partly because I'm getting back into the swing of having all my brain cells, because I don't have them back yet. In talking about that, I'm specifically talking about something called decompensation, which somebody asked what I've been working on lately, and I'll talk more about decompensation when I get to interacting directly with the chat. So today, just live streaming again. I got that done. And as a result of that, I now have the background images necessary for what needs to look nice on my channel. I still need to update the panels on my Twitch channel, which is fine. I really don't have all my brain cells yet. I really, really don't. Holy Christmas. So then so I got the stuff squared away so that I could work on the Penrose Trekkie, which you can see above the video of me on your screen now, the cover that I designed for the original sonnets, which is the free download you get when you subscribe to the mission reports at thepenrosetrekkie.com. So, got all this border stuff squared away. Then I went to work on the Penrose Trekkie. And in working on the Penrose Trekkie, I watched an episode of the animated series because I've blogged all the way through the original series. And actually, the original series, except for the films, everything in the original series has now been published on its 50th anniversary date, and that's where it's going to sit. That was the whole point of starting the PenroseTrekkie.com, was to get those things published on their anniversary dates, and it's happened. It's happened. And also, a secondary thing was that I had this idea originally when I started the official website that I was going to blog through all the remaining series simultaneously. Except I was almost done with the animated series, and I realized I'd only written one sonnet, and I thought, this is unacceptable. So I stopped the works on everything, and also working on it in that fashion was making me grumpy. It was messing with all sorts of schedules. It was really, really towing the line of hyperactivity, which is if I go into hyperactivity, that only lasts. It typically only lasts up to 2 weeks. This year I actually got it to last 3 weeks when it happened, because I didn't realize I was doing it, but I was also doing it not as hyperactive as I have in the past. But the thing is, at the end of those 2 or 3 weeks, I then go into months of decompensation, which I said I would discuss later. So now I'm trying to just work my way through one series at a time, and in the off season, between seasons of the shows, sharing as a supplemental log little poetry lessons, because the Penrose Trekkie project is really kind of the flagship project that you can write any kind of poem about any kind of thing. And so that's what a lot of those poetry lessons are going to be about over time. And I've signed up for Thinkific so that I can set up some free courses and whatnot for y'all to check out as I go through and get those lessons built and squared away and whatnot. So I got a sonnet written, and then I only had a little bit of time left. And so I decided to work on some administrative stuff. Specifically, every website, when you run a website, there are 3 things it really needs to have just to help cover your butt for reasons. One is terms and conditions, which helps to protect the copyright of whatever you create that is original work. Also, a disclaimer, because people will react to things that you say online and run with it in all kinds of ways you can't imagine and therefore can't anticipate. And so you just need a disclaimer there saying, whatever actions you are taking are your responsibility, not mine. I am sharing my opinion, and my responsibility for the act of sharing my opinion is saying, this is my opinion. I take responsibility for my opinion, not what you do with my opinion. So that's the second thing that you should have on your website. And those are the 2 administrative things that I got done. Was I was able to set up the terms and conditions page and also the disclaimer page. And now I have to set up the privacy the privacy policy, to assure people that I'm not going to do anything spammy when you sign up for my email list to get the mission reports sent directly to your inbox, or I'm not going to do anything spammy with your information should you ever sign up for any of the Thinkific poetry courses that I'm going to create in connection with the PenroseTrekkie.com. So, privacy policy about is so terms and conditions, you are asking for respect. Disclaimer saying, this is my responsibility, that's your responsibility. And privacy policy is saying, this is how I am showing my respect to you. Terms and conditions, how I want to be respected. Privacy policy, how I'm showing respect. And disclaimer, just I'm going to do me, you're going to do you. Those are the three things you need. And just kind of covering the bases in terms, the most basic of legal bases in terms of how we respect one another online. So, yeah, I just got to finish scoring away the privacy policy, and then that can go online. That final administrative task. And now I can look at the chat. And Twitch has been busy, mostly because of Devil Spidey. Hi, Devil Spidey. I'm assuming that's still you. That could be someone else. According to the OBS studio, my microphone is working. So, all right. And Paul Kemp has been in the chat on, and has been on the chat here. All right. So, let's start with the Twitch. The Twitch. At some point, I may start, for this portion, the wrap-up chat portion, I may start also going live on Instagram. Haven't decided yet, but I'm leaning toward it. At least so people know, hey, if you're on Twitch or YouTube Live, you can. All right, so I'm the naysayer on Twitch. Said long time no see. How have you been? Between the last time I live streamed and the end of 2018, things went roughly good, right? Do I have journaling pages that can confirm that? Do I have pages that will confirm that self-assessment? Sheesh McGeesh. I mean, okay, so I have like my little monthly review pages. Oh, no, I'm too far back. What year is this? Why did I not write the years on these? Okay. Oh, no, I was in my the digital bullet journal by then. So this is completely a different year that I'm looking at. Whoops. Oh, that might have been rude to my neighbor. I'll bake them cookies later. Maybe. Do I have things for cookies? I'll find out. Anyway, roughly good. And then this year, you know what? I'll get through all the stuff that doesn't have to do with me personally, ish, and then I'll get through everything that is non-decompensation related, and then I'll talk about decompensation because it can be a lengthier topic, and I want to get to what everybody asked. So Devil Spidey then pretty much took over the chat per usual. As I recall, Devil Spidey was always on top of just full-on commentary in the chat that I was not able to see, as I recall. Devil Spidey said, I also needed 50% luck, not just willpower. I was talking about something with my brain, and I know that willpower alone is not enough. I have OCD, right? So I'll be the first to tell you willpower is not enough. Compulsions are going to happen. Obsessive thinking is going to happen, and then and you're just fucked. So, but anytime I talk about just pure willpower, it's a joke. Always, always. Just a note. Devil Spidey said I was a bit away from the mic, and it was still hard to hear me even after I turned up the microphone. Devil Spidey reminded me that I could click on the gear on the chat to pop it out. I do not do that. As a reminder for anybody who hasn't been here before or hasn't seen me in a while, I do not look at the chat while I'm writing. It is very triggering for my OCD. OCD is an anxiety-based condition. My particular subtype of OCD is anchored to social anxiety and very particular anxieties under the umbrella of social anxiety. But it is a social anxiety, which means the human voice or knowing that humans are attempting to interact with me is very triggering for me. It immediately, it can trigger compulsions. It can trigger obsessive thinking. It can trigger full-on panic attacks. So if I want to get writing done, I have to not be interacting with you directly. I can be talking to myself and you can be kind of commentating on that in the chat, but I cannot interact with you in the chat while I am working on something else. It is not going to happen. I can use words to write or I can use words to talk to you, but the way thoughts focus and the way cognitive dissonance works, even, it's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea. When I was a kid, when actually even into adulthood while still living with my parents, anytime it was my turn to clean the kitchen, my family, particularly my father, would be in the next room having turned up the volume almost full blast. It's like, just turn on the subtitles and read if it's that difficult for you. But he'd be in the next room and they'd have the volume turned all the way up, and I would close the doors to the family room and turn on the radio to try to overpower them. This was long before this. This is a new acquisition. I got these in July, after experimenting with my mother's noise canceling headphones to see whether or not they could help me not wake up in the middle of the night having panic attacks in response to the sound of people snoring, because again, a snore is an involuntary sound involving vocal cords. It's the human voice. It's triggering for my OCD and such. So and I have a big family, and when visiting at my paternal grandfather's house in particular, it's a smaller house. You can hear all sorts of things from across the house. And so these were a saving grace to make sure that I could get some friggin' sleep. Not the best sleep, because wearing these is not all night is not the most comfortable thing, but they're fairly comfortable. So anyhow, I did not have these, and it would be a huge fight when cleaning the dishes. I would get in, it would be a big fight with my dad to get him to let me close the door between the kitchen and the family room, to let me have the radio on, because we didn't know at the time. We did not know till well after I had moved to Providence that I have OCD, that the human voice is very triggering for me, and or can be very triggering for me if my nerves are already on edge. And so it was a battle, and when that in his mind I was not allowed to win because I was the child and he was the man of the house. But now that I have a diagnosis, I by default win. I need to be able to block out. And anyway, this helps. Which I also am finding helpful for getting cleaning done in the apartment, because I can listen to podcasts while I'm cleaning. And you're like, oh, what? That's the human voice, and isn't singing the human voice? And it's there are variations and degrees, and voices from another room is a very specific trigger, because I need to know what's happening in the next room. I am compelled to go figure out what's going on, because there is a visual aspect. The people in that room, whilst talking, are also making faces. Whatever they're watching on TV, there is an audio element, but there is also a visual element. And being able to hear things that I know have a visual component to them that I am missing out on, and that is really important to me as someone who, in addition to having OCD, I have an auditory processing disorder. My brain will, from time to time, momentarily forget what sounds mean. And so visual stimuli becomes incredibly important in those moments. I can kind of read lips as a way of making up for the fact that I can't, I'm not going to understand everything someone says to me all the time. And so, but hearing voices and not quite being able to make out what those voices are saying leads to panic, or has led to panic because of beliefs about myself held at the time, and being fearful with regards to what people might have been saying about me, and whether or not I'm too evil to let live, which was a concern for me because of my OCD. I've worked very hard to diminish the intensity of that particular fear. So I'm not going to be looking. I've never been comfortable looking at the chat during the morning writing. I'm sure as hell not going to feel comfortable about it now that I'm doing afternoon writing. So that's where that is. So continuing on with all the things Double Spidey had to say, it was confirmed that having these on meant that the microphone here in the earbuds, that's what needed to be near my face in order to pick me up. But I did a little troubleshooting, as you may or may not have seen, with turning these on and off and being able to not have to go through the whole process of resyncing them to the computer in order to use them. So in the future, that should be okay, and we should be able to use the mic here on the computer and it not be a problem in the future. But yeah, I will never click the gear and pop the chat out. I just won't. And I know I will be saying that many, many times in the future of all my live streams for fucking ever. All right, so Devil Spidey is still in the writing biz. Nice. Sent a book to beta readers, currently waiting for the response. Nice, nice. I skip beta readers. I'm just like, I need to be done with this, and then I send things out. I just make PDFs available for people to read. Headphones were the culprit. Copyright can be mean. Copyright isn't mean. It's just, it's something that we need to be considerate of, and it can get tricky making sure that you are being appropriately considerate of it. I did run into an issue with that. Was it last year or the year before when I made, must have been the year before, when I made the Star Trek mugs, and then all but one got taken down from Redbubble. There's lots of stuff on Redbubble that, to my mind, conflicts with copyright, but CBS has asked that every mug but one get taken down, because it was the only one that did not have any Star Trek owned words or phrases. Words being, you know, specific references to alien species and such. But there's one mug left, and I like to leave, and I freaked out initially when that happened, but in retrospect, it was a very good lesson, and it's kind of a fun story in a weird way. To my mind, it's a fun story, and it's, hey, this one mug survived. There is one mug that you can purchase with one of my Star Trek TOS sonnets on it, with TOS standing for the original sonnets, because it's the Penrose Trekkie mug. It's not a Star Trek mug. All right. I need to don't play with the headphones. Don't break them. Devil Spidey says there's construction going on their end, is responding to my comments about giggling. Oh, I was talking about, okay, Devil Spidey suggested adding a postscriptum to my blog post when I was talking about how was I going to edit the end of it to encompass the shit math in today's episode of Star Trek TAS. And again, I don't look at the chat, so making suggestions isn't totally helpful. Thank you, but you know, Devil Spidey admitted to being terrible at math, like everyone involved in TAS apparently. Issue with science fiction is that it is dependable. It depends on logic, because science needs logic to work. Almostly There says science doesn't need logic to work. Well, I think science fiction doesn't need logic to work is perhaps what they meant there, because science would not be science without logic. Whereas logic does not necessarily need science to work, because there are intuitive types of logic, fairy tale types of logic, emotional logic, the logic that we invent for ourselves that is not scientifically sound. But that which is scientifically sound follows a particular chain of logic that can be rooted in science, whereas other forms of logic perhaps are not. Devil Spidey made a comment about dinner time. I think they're responding to the fact that I got up and got a snack, because I did. Snacks are very important. I'm in the first half of my cycle, the follicular half of my cycle. Now is a good time to be eating almonds for the calcium and magnesium, which help with the thyroid producing sleep hormones, so you can get a good night's sleep. And then dark chocolate I have in the afternoon for all points in my cycle, because the antioxidants, the antioxidants and such in 70% cacao dark chocolate is good for helping to regulate the hormones, chemicals in your brain that are specifically related to your mood. So it's good for helping you to stay calm, helping you to stay a little happy, all that fun stuff. Over here in YouTube, we have the comments from Paul Kemp that as he was watching The Morning Writing, he was working on a submission for an opportunity at Big Finish Productions, and is happy to see that the streams are back again after such a long time away. He puts in parentheses on his part that the long time away was his part, that he was a long time away from these streams, but these have been gone for a long time as well. He then asked, what have you been up to lately? Lately, 2019, decompensation. In the new year, I was like, I'm gonna make Christmas last all year. Like, people have a word or a phrase that they're gonna carry into the new year. That was mine. I was gonna make Christmas last all year because I fucking love Christmas. Actually, I might have been live streaming up till Christmas, because wasn't I wearing this on live streams? Because I wear this every day in December. Or I did this past December. Anywho, so yeah, I had a good start to the year, and then I tripped myself into hyperactivity with my job, and with the fact that for my writing my online platform as a writer, I have 3 websites for that, and I hadn't quite I was figuring out, I had just landed on this idea of using the golden goose eggs for all the as the sort of online platform for all my nonfiction writing, Better Storytelling as the online platform for all my fiction writing, and the PenroseTrekkie.com as the platform for all of my poetry writing, including poetry lessons. And I was trying to get all of that squared away simultaneously rather than work on one at a time, which is my plan now. One at a time, get stuff scheduled into the future on one so that I then have that wiggle room to concentrate on the next one, get that scheduled out, and go back and rotate through the three, building and breathing room as I go. I did not do that at the start of the year. I was trying to do it all at the same friggin' time. I managed to keep that up for 3 weeks, and then the hyperactivity came to a head, and I fell into decompensation. And that happened the last week in March. Decompensation starts. I made a chart. I made a spreadsheet as I've been coming out of decompensation, which mathematically I can prove I am now coming out of it. I thought I was coming out of it in April, like halfway through April, when I realized I was in decompensation. But realizing you're in decompensation and coming out of it are two very different things. I'd been in decompensation for less than a month when I realized I was in it. And then things happened with my family. Something happened with my family in May, the first week of May. Something happened with my chosen family, the family I've built up around me here in Providence, in June. And then when I was visiting with my family in July, something else happened to my family. And August, I was still just going through the motions every day and reeling from everything. So I was in decompensation that whole time, and then 3 tragedies in a row, May, June, July. And, you know, with a tragedy comes existential crises and depression and all sorts of things, which with decompensation I had nothing to give, and I was living on fumes, barely able to take care of myself. And then at the start of this month, September, I lost my job at the bookstore. And the day after I lost my job, I built this spreadsheet to try to compile data with regards to why I got fired, so I could avoid it in the future. And that was when I saw just how deep and how bad the decompensation went in terms of what I had to give and what I was giving. And I was able to see that what you give versus what you have to give should be a larger percentage. You should be, if you are taking care of yourself, you should be at about 98%, 100%, in the high 90s, right? Right up there near 100%. And then in terms of what you're giving, I personally think you should be giving a little more, because that means you're stretching yourself. You don't want to give too much more, because that's hyperactivity. That's what I work to the numbers to be able to figure out where did the hyperactivity happen, what did the days where hyperactivity was happening look like. And when you just average out all the percentages over the course of the month, it was hyperactivity punctuated with days of pervasive avoidance, which is when I get trapped in my head. It's a compulsive non-action, and I don't get anything done. So then the numbers kind of evened out so that it looked like I wasn't having hyperactivity, but I was. It was just back and forth between being hyperactive and being stuck in pervasive avoidance. And so that was how it kind of hid on me, because it wasn't like previous periods of hyperactivity in the past where I was just going full force all the time in order to reach a very specific deadline, usually catching up on old homework so that I could pass a grade when I was in elementary and grade school and high school and a couple times in college. But that wasn't what this hyperactivity looked like. It was punctuated with this pervasive avoidance because I was in charge of my own schedule and was able to like give myself those breaks, but it was pervasive avoidance. It wasn't a break. It would have been marked in my notes properly if it had been a proper break. And so pervasive avoidance is how it got stretched from the usual 2 weeks to 3 weeks. If I did not have the compulsion of pervasive avoidance, the hyperactivity would have only lasted 2 weeks, but it lasted 3. And that's what pervasive avoidance does. It's like just you're freaking out, usually because of anxiety, but I didn't recognize it as anxiety. I was too excited. I was too happy to recognize the anxiety. And so my brain was like, no, you're actually anxious, so you're going to be trapped right now. Brain's a funny thing. But when I was doing well, I was just at 100% in what I had to give. And I was averaging, in terms of what I gave, about 120%, which is me growing, me trying, me striving, me exploring. When I was going back and forth between hyperactivity and pervasive avoidance, the numbers go down to 80. What I had to give was 80%, and what I was giving, what I had to give was 84%, and what I gave was 80%. So I'm already at a deficit. It looks like I'm doing more, but I'm already I'm getting pulled down. I'm actually stagnating. It looks like it's like a hurry up and wait. Nothing's happening. And then it dropped that I had in April only 30 to give. But because I recognized that I was in decompensation, I was trying to get out of it. What I gave, I had 30% and I gave 44%. And then May and June, I had 0 to give. July, I had 44% to give. August, I had 49% to give, coming out of decompensation. And now I have something like 56, 60% to give, and I'm working on bumping up what I'm able, and I'm bumping up what of that I am actually giving. But also like keeping it in balance. I'm just trying to give, rather than give more than 100%, like I want to give more than 50%, but I don't want to give too much more. I don't want to give, let's say, I don't want to be giving 80% right now. 75% on a single day would be good, but I don't want to stretch myself too much and hurt myself and undo the progress that I'm currently experiencing. But there is growing happening. The numbers are going back up, which means I am officially coming out of decompensation. I have numerical, statistical proof of it. And that's what I've been up to lately, is dealing with tragedy and decompensation. And now that I don't have a job, I'm going to be going back and forth between cleaning the apartment, working on my writing, and job hunting, scheduling specific windows for looking at jobs and applying to those jobs without making myself anxious about it. Because if I go too hard on the job hunting front, that would be hyperactivity and I have in the past, specifically in elementary and grade school, I have had moments of accumulative decompensation where I would try so hard fall semester, not do well enough, have to force myself into hyperactivity at the end of the month to catch up. Then I would be in decompensation all of spring semester. And then at the end, when I should be coming out of decompensation, I'd have to force myself into hyperactivity again in order to do homework again. But I'm not fully out of decompensation because I didn't have any real recuperation, like, because so then I forced myself into hyperactivity, which was already a stretch when I was at 100%. Now I'm not at 100%, having to do hyperactivity. So that sends me into a deeper decompensation. And then I would not be out of decompensation until about the last 2 or 3 weeks of summer vacation. And then the whole thing would start over again with me being exhausted by the school day, coming home not having energy to pull myself out of pervasive avoidance, compulsive non-action, which I was stuck in because I couldn't decide between doing my homework or doing my chores. Then it would pile up till the end of the semester, hyperactivity, decompensation, homework piling up, then hyperactivity, decompensation all summer. And then I would actually heal because there was nothing forcing me into hyperactivity or forcing me to give too much more than what I had to give, which was nothing at the start of summer because it was a decompensation on top of a decompensation, which, though I say on top of, it's just deeper and even less energy. So that's what I've been up to. It's decompensation. It's hilarious. Aren't you glad we started this up again and I have such cheerful things to share with you? Aren't you glad? I'm glad. Oh boy. All right. And Paul Kemp's final question was, why the move to afternoon writing? I read a book. That's the short answer. The long answer is the book is called The Power of When, and it talks about your chronotype. At its most basic, are you a morning person or a night person? And I always knew I was a morning person, but this gives even more details about what does that actually mean in terms of when does your day start and when should your day end? And when's the best time for you to be getting administrative stuff and meetings and chores and errands and basically interacting with humanity things done? And when's the best time for you to get creative? Now, most morning people, such as myself, try to get writing done first thing in the morning. But the problem with that is, for me, is that then I have no energy for anything else, especially coming out of decompensation. But there are two primo times to work on creative stuff. The first is when you first wake up and your conscious mind was just having a conversation with the subconscious, so your brain has been working on associations and finding solutions to all sorts of things from your previous days and from your previous day's activities, and now you can just act on them. You have the energy to just act on them, get it done. The other time it's good to work on creative stuff is when you're a little bit tired, because as you get tired, your subconscious starts to kind of chime in more. It starts to partake in a conversation with your conscious mind more. Now, for OCD, that can be a tricky thing because my subconscious being more in dialogue with my conscious mind means I'm hearing the voices more often. There are more voices than at other points in the day. My compulsions are more likely to act up. My obsessive thinking is more likely to act up. But that's also, as long as I'm taking care of myself, a good thing, because in talking things out with the voices in my head, I can actually work with them so that they can kind of play parts in whatever story I'm trying to tell. They can help me think of I'm making all sorts of much more creative connections with regards to my creative projects, because it's just the intuition is more activated when you're kind of tired. So that means in the mornings, I'm getting emails written and I'm scheduling them, so then I'm not obsessing over when someone's going to respond to them. It's like, this is the window I have to write emails. This is the time I have decided I am scheduling all the professional emails to go out, and this is the time I have scheduled that I will schedule all my personal emails to go out. So it's like putting a letter in a letterbox. And because I, like the kind you see on the sidewalk, you've written a letter, you go out to the sidewalk, you put it in at a designated time, the mailman's going to come and take it to someone. And they have a designated time that they check their mailbox, and then they have to put it in a letterbox for a postman to pick it up at a designated time. So because I'm scheduling my emails, that helps my brain to build up an association. Other people are using emails on their schedule, on their time. And so there's a possibility they're scheduling the email back to you rather than sending it as soon as they're done writing it. So I can breathe easy with that. Getting chores done in the mornings, getting errands done in the morning, and having each morning basically have a different set of chores and errands and meetings and whatnot that are going to happen. So today is Monday, for instance. And on Mondays, the first thing I do is I just tidy up my budget for the week. I cross-reference what's going on with my bank account with the spreadsheet that I have for how I budget my money. In order to make sure all the numbers add up, I have enough money for next week, I have enough money for next month, kind of just looking at how the numbers add up and making sure that that is squared away. So yeah, so that's an administrative thing for later, for not now. For not now. Yeah, so as a chronotype lion, there are actually 4 chronotypes in the book. So there's the standard day that everybody sets their clocks to, which is the bear schedule. There's the early morning risers, lions, and then there are the late risers, and they stay up late, the wolves. And then there are people who just don't have perfectly regular sleep schedules. They have a tendency toward insomnia. And so rather than insomnia just being a complete outlier in terms of sleep types, insomnia is introduced as a proper sleep type, which is great. That sleep type is named, so it goes lions, bears, wolves. I know I kind of want I want there to be tigers in there because Wizard of Oz, but it's mammals because we're mammals. So he found mammals in the wild that most closely resembled our sleep types. And for insomniacs, that's the dolphin, because dolphins sleep, only half of their brain sleeps at a time. The other half has to stay awake in order to keep swimming and in order to stay alert for potential predators. So, you're more anxious, you're on alert all the time, you're not sleeping regularly, you're not having the most restful sleep because you're a bit of a light sleeper, because again, you have that anxiety and that hypervigilance going on. So treating it as a proper sleep type, rather than a full-on, oh no, there's just something wrong with you and that's all there is to it kind of a thing. There is something wrong about not getting enough sleep for you, but having a dolphin sleep schedule is not necessarily bad. It's just it's going to be a little trickier fine-tuning your needs. But even for that, there is a recommended daily schedule in terms of how you work it. Um, but yeah. Lions are kind of out in the cold when it comes to socializing, because we want to, like, our day starts at about 6 a.m. and an 8-hour day, that means you're done at 2, maybe 3. So like my day is coming to an end energetically, my intuition is getting stronger, it's a good time to write, but also this is when I'm more likely to be able to interact with people online. Maybe. It's hard to tell. I was frequently getting comments during when I used to do morning writing that that it was too late at night for certain or I was frequently getting comments from particular people who would watch that they were up too late and they needed to go to bed, wanted to say need to go to bed. Now, with this being in the afternoon, those people should already be in bed, which I like. I don't want to disrupt anybody's sleep schedule. I don't want anybody staring at a screen when they're supposed to be going to bed. And it makes sure that I have enough energy to get things done before my OCD kicks in, and I'm actually doing something when I'm tired and my subconscious is more likely to engage with my conscious mind. I'm doing something that is actually incredibly helpful and healthful for my OCD. I find that the more writing I'm able to get done in a particular day, the more my brain behaves. And so this 4-hour block between 1:30 and 5:30, which is when I exercise every day, is just exactly what I need. And the time is now 5:24, and nobody's putting anything into the chat, which is fine. It was a rough start today. I'm looking forward to getting back into a swing of things tomorrow afternoon, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into live stream writing and being able to do it in a way that is good for what's going on in terms of my neurological and physiological health. And as always, this video is archived on bit.ly/R Rose, J Jermusyk. Rose Jermusyk is my username everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. There's the alarm going that I should wrap up here so that I can get back to work. So thank you very much for joining me today. I'm Rose Jermusyk. You have been watching Afternoons We Write. And I will see you tomorrow from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 3 hours of live stream writing. Ooh, 3 hours. It feels so luxurious to be unemployed. And that's then followed by our hour-long Share What You Did wrap-up chat from 4:30 to about 5:30. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and hearing about your projects. Oh, it's been a day, right? It's been a day. Let's all take a nap. No, I'm not napping. I'm exercising. That's what I do at 5:30. What are you doing? Feel free to comment at YouTube, where it's archived, and I'll be able to keep it and cherish that comment forever.